weekend's presentation of U.S. Soccer is presented by the United States Marine Corps. Michael Bradley has the game's only goal. Landon Donovan, USA, leading Mexico in the opening game of this final round of World Cup qualifying. 10 games on the docket for these teams trying to get to South Africa World Cup in 2010. Mexico on the chase. No subs here to start this second half. The whistle blew on the foul that was going to be called. So it's a free kick or a throw-in for Mexico. Martinez put it down for Salcido. Augusto played it up and over Tim Howard. Let's go downstairs. Pedro Gomez had a chance to talk to Mexico's head coach Sven-Göran Eriksson. What did you find out, Pedro?
Asked him what he thought of the first half. He was actually very pleased with the way Mexico played for the most part. He said it was just a bit of bad luck to let up that goal by Bradley in the last 2 minutes of that first half. But otherwise, he was absolutely pleased with the way they attacked the ball.
I would think that he would be, wouldn't you, John? I mean, they had chances.
It depends on how you look at it. I mean, no bad luck, really. It's an excellent ball, and the delivery into the back post. Landon does a great job of directing it back across. You know, Landon Donovan did a good job to lose his marker there. Martinez, Israel Martinez, who just came in, number 14, he was supposed to be marking Landon, and he let his marker get in behind. So Landon was free. Yeah. Good finish by Bradley.
But I mean, overall, Mexico didn't play bad in the first half, did they?
No, I don't think they played bad. No, I think the U.S. had the better play in terms of possession, ball movement, interchanging of players, creating more in the final third. I think it's promising from the U.S.'s point of view that they, you know, throughout the qualifying, we talked about getting more players involved in the attack, and they're doing that tonight. On the other end, like I said, you know, even with the highlights, Dos Santos should score that goal. And it should have been 1-0 up Mexico in probably the 10th or 11th minute. But that's soccer. If you don't put the chances away, then there's no use talking about it.
Cut off there. Pierce was looking for Beasley. Michael Bradley steps up, finds Ching. Michael Bradley, great ball. Maybe too far, maybe not. Sanchez took it, but what an idea. Michael Bradley trying to spring the speedy DeMarcus Beasley.
Well, it starts with the first ball that he plays into Brian Ching. It's a 40-yard driven ball hard from a deep center midfield position that sets the tone. He gets it back, and then he plays another third man running through. Excellent ball. That's great stuff from a central midfielder. You need that in the game. Someone that could see the game ahead of him, play those distinct balls that stick to the players.
Medina and Hayter. Neither player giving an inch in that battle. Right between the benches. Mexico's ball. If you're Mexico, you're only down by 1. How do you get back into this?
Well, the first things first is that, you know, again, it's keeping that shape and discipline, but which Sven-Göran Eriksson has really brought into this team, and you can see it. They don't want to give up too many things in terms of the run of play. They want to be disciplined in terms of not giving away too many free kicks as well. So be patient. The longer it goes on, 1-0, then they're hoping maybe towards the end of the game they can spring some attack and maybe get the point. But right now, it's keeping an eye on some very active U.S. players going forward, which is going to be tough.
They certainly can't give up a second goal. It was 2-0 results the last 2 times USA met Mexico in this stadium in qualifying in 01 and 05. Fourth corner U.S. Donovan towards the middle. Sanchez 2 fists on it, and then Medina helped to move it further away. Donovan right back on it after taking the corner. Playing now on loan with Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. Reporters asked him yesterday about that loan arrangement and would he stay. He said, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about USA versus Mexico. What's your thought of Landon playing over there?
Well, I think if he gets an opportunity, it's not his choice, but if he gets the opportunity and carves that out for him, he should stay there. That's the reason why he went on loan. Playing now under Jurgen Klinsmann, right? Who we all know. Yeah, and he's in a good spot there. He's playing with great players.
Flag is up on Ochoa. Offside, Mexico. Potential subs for Mexico. And there is some experience there. You've got Luis Perez, Antonio Nelson, also known as Zinha, Omar Bravo, if you're looking for a goal, especially late. So plenty of firepower there for Mexico. Donovan against Marquez. Tried the left-footed cross block that goes to Beasley, and then he lost it there. Quickly they look for Ochoa. They're looking for that quick breakout. Second straight time up the field for Ochoa. But Onyewu did well in the one-on-one.
He did very well. Excellent play for the central back, really under pressure to keep that back to Howard.
Off Dempsey. Michael Bradley towards Kleshton. Now it's Frankie Haydock. He'll float that one up towards Donovan. And it goes right to Osvaldo Sanchez. The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Daytona gets underway Saturday with the Camping World 300. Coverage begins on ESPN2, noon Eastern, with NASCAR Countdown. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Foul is called. USA will have the ball.
You notice a little bit of change here. Landon Donovan pushing really high up on the pitch on top of Marquez to maybe test him out as a center back, causing Marquez to step in there and cause the foul. And that's what Landon's going to try to do, maybe play a little bit higher there. Give some room to Sacha Kleshton maybe to express himself through the midfield, which he does well. Beasley, Dempsey coming inside. Michael Bradley, you know, offering a little bit of balance to that. Doing a good job, the U.S. right now. Good shape.
Bocanegra cut off as Marquez. It's deflected out. Mexico will throw it in. 6 teams that are left. Remember, the top 3 advance. A 4th place team will go into a playoff against the 5th place team from South America. But who do you like besides, obviously, USA and Mexico are going to be there. That's the consensus. Those are 2. Who else do you like?
Honduras, you know, the way that they competed against Mexico in that upset, they had the 1-0 victory. Trinidad and Tobago shows that they can perform, but away from home, that's the challenge for them. They can perform at home, and here we see Dempsey.
Tackle away, but there's the follow-up from Kleshton towards Dempsey. Not quite. Haydock will chase this between the benches. Move it upfield, but it goes out of play. Other games are going on in our region. CONCACAF, Carlos Edwards has the goal. Trinidad and Tobago with the lead over El Salvador in the first half of play. Bocanegra back to Tim Howard.
See the wind factor there with that ball being held up.
Michael Bradley towards Ching. Bradley, DeMarcus Beasley. Very active game for Beasley, who hasn't played much with Rangers. The Bradley pass on the left for Pierce. Those 2 players led the team last year, Bradley and Pierce, and games started for the U.S. Back to goal to Sanchez. And he gave it right back. Off the foot of Dempsey, picked back up. Salcido going wide. Knocked away by Onyewu. Up for Ching, the knock for Dempsey. 2 players on Dempsey. And the foul was called. Free kick Mexico right away. They play it. Up for Ochoa. Pushes it out wider on the right. Giovanni Dos Santos. Running to the end line. Got the cross away. But it goes out of play. Should be a goal kick.
You saw the pace from Dos Santos, the one-on-one isolation, and Heath Pierce doing a good job at least to put him off of the cross. Enough of a challenge to put him off that cross. And that's what a defender needs to do. And here it is again. Dos Santos is pushing this ball by Heath Pierce. He does a good job just kind of putting enough pressure on the ball there.
Up near the halfway line. Anyone's ball here. Played up by Salcido. Question to Hayduk. Again off Salcido towards Ochoa. Montenegro was all over him, but did well not to commit a foul. Donovan against Marquez. Oh, Landon almost got by. Good recovery there too by Marquez.
Well, it was an excellent timing by Marquez in terms of when to step forward and win that challenge. He read the game very well there with the ball dropping down to Landon. He gave him the space, a little bit of respect. I thought too much, but then right when Landon was going to take that touch off the half volley, he steps in. Watch this, how quickly he does it. There it is. He just steps at the right time. Landon could have pushed that ball by him because Landon would have easily blown by him in the open field there.
Throw in front of the Mexico bench for the U.S. Hayduk for Ching off that flick. Galindo. Medina blocked there by Bocanegra. Stepping up. Rafa Marquez cut off by Hayduk. Question.
Very nice. This is great. Very, just very decisive passing.
Fouls called against Mexico. '57th minute. USA leads on a goal by Michael Bradley near the end of the first half. Up for Dempsey. Got it forward. That's cut off. Martinez. Dempsey. Lost it there. Referee Carlos Buckles was looking, didn't see a foul. All the way back to Tim Howard. Mexico may be making another change. We got Zenia up. That's his nickname, full name Antonio Nilsson. Free kick, Mexico. 58th minute. Sold out Columbus Crew Stadium. Heavy winds at the start of the game, heavy rain. Now it's just a little chilly and windy, but much better than the way it started about an hour or so, hour and a half before kickoff. A push there on Galindo, or by Galindo, results in a free kick for the United States. With Brian Ching who went down.
Ball played in. A little bit of a shove from the back. It's all part of it.
Question. Try to find Ching. Question one more time. Nice ball knotted ahead towards Hayduk. But just too much closer to Mexico to get that ball. Closer to Galindo than it was to Hayduk. Ochoa. Played forward. Medina, nice turn. That was well done. Then the chip. Pardo's there, but the offside flag went up.
Here's the counterattack from Mexico, and plenty of players, and you see the defense of the USA as they try to close down the space and make the field small. They condense and pinch in. There's the offside by Pardo. Very close. Very close.
So Medina comes out. Zenia comes in.
I thought that Zenia was going to be a starter, actually, tonight. For me, anyway, my opinion. I didn't think Medina did much on the field. I don't think Ochoa has done much up front. He's not very mobile, Ochoa. You would look to see if Omar Bravo maybe comes in and changes things for Mexico up front.
Michael Bradley, his goal in the 43rd minute, is the only one to this point. 60th minute USA versus Mexico in this World Cup qualifier on rivalry week. Zenia played it back. Zinya's one of 4 naturalized players now on this Mexican roster. Question, lost it in the end. Picked up by Mexico. Zinya pressured by Michael Bradley, who went in hard. 61st minute, maybe the only surprise for me, no yellow cards for either team. A lot of physical play though. Referee letting things go. And that's okay as long as it's consistent.
No, I agree. I think the ref has done a good job, and every good referee is one that you really don't want to notice.
Yep. Offside flag up on Ochoa. Rivalry week continues tomorrow night, 7 Eastern. That's when it begins. The Big East pairing. Louisville and Notre Dame will tip off at 9 Eastern. A Pac-10 showdown. UCLA and Arizona State. Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco on ESPN.
Notre Dame upset, I'm saying.
That's your pick?
Yep. Fighting Irish.
Not sure what happened tonight with the Connecticut game, but UConn men and women, both ranked #1 in the country. Galindo will put it back into play. Pushed up by Osorio. Now Pardo. Kept it on the ground, but it was closer to Bocanegra than it was to Osorio.
Good cover again by Carlos Bocanegra. Keith Pierce was pushed a little bit too high. His first touch takes him out of the play. Beasley trying to cover in behind for him, but Bocanegra slides across. Good center back, great positioning. Plays at Rennes in France. I think he's had 24 consecutive games with Rennes this year, and that helps. Playing football every week is what it's all about.
6 teams remain in this CONCACAF World Cup qualifying group. They'll play each other twice, home and home. Top 3 will advance. 4th place team goes to a playoff against the 5th place team from South America. 2-leg playoff that would be. In the box it goes. Augusto blocked by Donovan, but the foul was committed.
Some people watching right now. There's a lot of teams that get through in the CONCACAF. You know, soon it's going to be 9 teams that get through.
I don't think
it'll 35.
I don't think it'll ever be that many, but
you know, I didn't really see where the foul was. Competing for the ball, landing, maybe a little shove there on, I think it was Leandro Augusto.
Augusto played it over to the right. Mexico down by a goal. These 2 teams heavily favored to go on to the World Cup directly. They've been the top 2 teams in the region now for years. Martinez played it up. Beasley being chased.
And you can see the respect right there from Mexico, dropping off, giving him the space. And with the speed of Beasley, that's one thing that a player likes to use to his advantage. I think he came from an offside position,
yeah.
Brian Ching.
I gave you the Trinidad score. They were up by 1 on a Carlos Edwards goal. Apparently they have scored again in El Salvador. And that's the team that the USA will be playing next away. Free kick is coming here for Mexico. Pardo is over the ball.
Very dangerous area. Pardo, if he drops off and he whips this ball in towards the penalty spot, normally players like to keep it on the goal frame, because if it goes through in this area right here, that kind of lends itself to being on the goal.
There it is, the chance! Martinez! And it was either off the Mexican player that was down or off the post. And we've got another player down for Mexico as well, as Howard collides there in midair. And now the rivalry picks up. Is that a red card?
Yes, it is. It's a red card.
Wow.
I think it was for the challenge on Tim Howard. I believe it was Marquez. No?
I think so. Well, we didn't have a single yellow card. And I wasn't sure if my eyes were deceiving me from here when I saw the red go up that quickly.
It looked like Howard had every intention to go straight up for the ball, and you're going to have a player compete for that in the air.
Right. So here's Mexico. They should have scored. That one that came across may have gone off one of their own players.
Right, and here's the ball that gets whipped in, and it's a dangerous ball. Players losing their mark on the back post there. Someone just cuts across that. Here's Heath Pierce and keeps this alive. But I'm not sure, is he not offsides as that ball's been played? And there it is, and there's Marquez with his studs coming up, not even looking at the ball. The referee does a good job there. In the 65th minute, gives him the red card.
So again, Mexico goes from having a chance to tie this game to losing their captain. And they've already made a couple of subs as well. He's their captain, he's their leader. He is done.
And so now it becomes the tactical mind of Sven-Göran Eriksson. Does he change things? Being a man down, does he go to 3 at the back?
What would you do?
Well, I'm not coaching.
No, but
again,
if you were,
if I was trying to get a point out of this game,
yes,
I'd be trying to go with a 3-4-2. You know, if I could. And just kind of at least keep things through the midfield, because the U.S. have been dominating the midfield right now. See, what the U.S. can afford to do, though, and this is what you need to do, is sometimes it's reaction to what they need to do on the field to see how many players the U.S. push forward. You have to take more risks if you want to get. This could end up, he takes more risks and then it ends up being 2 and 3-0. And you walk away, and then, like you said before, the pressure is on, because Sven-Göran Eriksson, is his job safe? Is it safe losing 1-0? Probably. Mexico hasn't won here for so many years. They're not expected to win. The U.S. are.
We're told that Tim Howard, by the way, got a yellow card in that collision as well. So that's interesting with Marquez, and Howard is limping at the other end, by the way. Delaying the kick, we're told, is why he got a yellow card. Question. Knotting it down. Right through to Ching. Almost through. Good job by Salcido. Dempsey down. Play continuing. 68th minute. Michael Bradley. 11 players versus 10. With Marquez being sent off. Pardo.
Salcedo, the number 3, has dropped into a center back position. Martinez, the left side of midfield, is dropping back more to a left back position. So, a little bit of change from the Mexican side.
Yeah.
Remember, they are missing players, though. Torrado, Fernando Arce, Vela, they're all suspended. Guardado is injured. Magallon is injured.
Yep.
So it's not a full squad from Mexico, but U.S. nevertheless is dominating tonight.
USA just missing Trundle with an injury, and also Pablo Mastroeni is suspended. Marquez, how about him? Red carded here, red carded in the 2002 World Cup also against the United States, headbutting Kobe Jones. So he's got 2 strikes, I guess, against him in those games against the United States.
He always shows, as a captain and the leader of this team, his dislike for the U.S. side. And that passion sometimes gets the better of him.
Let's make it rougher now. 69th minute. USA leading in a Michael Bradley goal in the 43rd minute.
Well, it's a great atmosphere and environment. Here's the open field tackle from Frankie Hajduk. Very well timed. Good job. All-important goal was Bradley just before halftime. You know, the mindset, the confidence from the U.S. going into the dressing room. They came out and they played very well in the beginning of the second half. Although, you know, we say that, but Mexico had their chances to score. They didn't make the most of those opportunities.
I was Omar Bravo on the side with Sven-Göran Eriksson. So you need a goal scorer. He's one of them.
The one thing I'd like to see a little bit more from the U.S. side is that switching the point of attack a little bit quicker, especially when Mexico is a man down. You can open up on the weak side, and Mexico has shown that they haven't done a very good job of that throughout qualifying and even against Sweden in the friendly. They got caught on the weak side. and the U.S. could do a better job of switching the point of attack a little bit quicker to expose that.
Ching to Beasley. 11 players versus 10. Let the ball do the work, as coaches always say.
And here it is now. This is where Frankie Hayda can get forward and take advantage of the space.
Michael Bradley. That's more like the movement they're looking for. And then that final pass. Beasley was open. Zinya's pass to Pardo. Upfield it comes. A hard challenge there from Haydock. Ochoa couldn't get to it. Haydock's up limping now. Donovan. USA hasn't made a substitution yet. Mexico has made 2, and they're getting ready to make their final one with Omar Bravo on the sideline. He'll come in for Giovanni Dos Santos, who's really drifted out of the game after a pretty decent start. Ochoa from long range. Wide of a diving Tim Howard. Let's send it back to Ryan Burr in the studio. Sports Center right now.
Thanks, guys. Brett Favre is done with football again. The 39-year-old quarterback called the Jets this morning to say he's retiring after 18 seasons, ending a record-setting career in which he became one of the NFL's all-time greats. Basketball over on ESPN. #1 UConn hosting Syracuse. 3-point game at the half. Second half, all Huskies. Craig Austrie for 3. Book that. And UConn currently up by 11. Sports Center follows Carolina and Duke on ESPN. Guys.
Thank you, Ryan. And as you were doing Sports Center, we just saw the last substitution made by Mexico. Haydock is still limping. Omar Bravo, meanwhile, has come into the game. Capped 54 times by Mexico. He has scored 14 goals, including goals in World Cup play and in Olympic play as well. Player to be watched for sure, even with Mexico down to 10 players with the setting up of Marquez. Haydock is still struggling by the near sideline.
It's just above his knee. And here's Dos Santos. As they both commit to that play, you see the studs come through, catches the top of his knee. Frankie Haydock, he'll never shy from a tackle. Commitment's been there throughout his career. I think he and both Tim Howard are kind of struggling. Tim Howard's still limping a little bit. I know Brad Guzan is on the side, who has done so well under Brad Friedel, getting an opportunity at Villa to play. So could it be a late change at the goalkeeper, too? Got to keep an eye on Tim Howard.
They could. They haven't made any changes, so they have 3. And being up 11 men against 10 gives them also a little luxury, a little benefit. 74th minute. Frankie Haydock with his throw-in. For Ching. Bradley. Haydock. Ching one more time. Down the sideline. The cross is low. Picked off. Augusto. Upfield for Mexico, and he gave it right back to Onyewu. Michael Bradley. And then Dempsey got clipped.
He's got to get some better spots in the field, but also get better service, too. He's been in a lot of 50-50 challenges tonight.
Ching trying to win it back. Off a block. Goes out for a throw-in. The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Daytona gets underway Saturday. It's the Camping World 300. Coverage begins ESPN 2, noon Eastern, with NASCAR Countdown. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Mexico on the attack, down by a goal. In this World Cup qualifier, Pardo's pass cleared away, halfway line. Salcido towards Omar Bravo, and that will go out. Frankie Haydock put it back into play. Intended for Ching. Donovan came back to help out. Salcido. Donovan. Now Pardo. for Ochoa. He and Onyewu both battled there hard. Pierce to Ching.
Good play by Ching. Very solid.
Beasley. The cross from Pierce is a wild one. And that goes out of play. Let's go downstairs to Pedro Gomez.
Guys, you talk about the pressure that Mexico's under now because they are short a man. Nowhere probably is that more felt than with Sven-Göran Eriksson, because he has felt the pressure since he took this job. And obviously you talked about it earlier in the show. He was badgered yesterday by the Mexican press. A couple of his answers were, listen, I have a contract until the end of July of 2010. Another thing he said is that he has always maintained that Mexico will qualify for the World Cup. But he did say, you know, if we lose, who knows what will happen. This is a veteran of a lot of teams that he's coached. John Harkes, what do you think of this?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's many people that could say and maintain that Mexico will qualify for the World Cup. That's an easy statement. You know, I think that with Sven-Göran Eriksson, you know, with England, didn't have a good run, went to Man City, did okay, not great. The next day was hired in Mexico, took on a different challenge, but at the same time, didn't understand really what the pressures were like in Mexico. You can't have an okay Mexican national side. Their national pride is too strong. You can't be 4-4-1 at this stage. He's under pressure.
Yeah, that's what his record is. 500 as coach and not winning on the road. World Cup qualifying in the last round.
Well, they demand
really
more. They thought that he would bring the discipline, which he has, but at the same time, Mexico's not playing well. Is that the coach's fault? Maybe, but it's going to fall on him. It's easier to change one coach than it is to change 7 or 8 players.
Played on the ground. Howard gets to that. No problem for Tim Howard, who's in great form with Everton in the Premiership. Beasley. 78th minute. USA leading 1-0 on a Michael Bradley goal. 43rd minute. Kicking off this final round of World Cup qualifying. Donovan waits. He's got players open. Haydick was screaming for the ball. Haydick's shot went wide. Difference in the game, a Michael Bradley goal in the 43rd minute.
And it was an excellent play here. You see some of the defending. Michael Bradley getting stuck in. Here he is. Timing is everything. Opportunist on the doorstep. The save from Sanchez and the rebound from Michael Bradley. In the right place at the right time, and that's all part of it.
Michael Bradley will touch it back. Bocanegra up the wing and out of play.
You know, just going back to the last play that got sent through, Michael Bradley has been the supplier of some of those balls. But Landon Donovan peels out, perfect timing, gets in behind the Mexico defense, but no other U.S. players are in the box looking for the end of it. So he has to cut back and slow his play down. You want to see more players getting forward at this stage. There's nothing wrong with 1-0, 78th minute, that you send a Dempsey higher, or you send Ching higher up the pitch, or maybe Clushing goes and Michael Bradley holds. Those are the type of things you want to do to put the game away.
Ochoa, look out there as Howard clears it. This game is a long way from being over. Even with Mexico down a man, all they need is one chance. And Ochoa nearly had it.
He's put some pressure on Onyewu there, and he does enough just to break up that play. Tim Howard, quick thinking that he doesn't use his hands because it did come off of Onyewu's foot.
First corner kick of the night for Mexico.
And you've got to be very tight in the marking in here. This is going to be important that these players mark up for the U.S. They don't want to give anything away here.
One of their normal targets is Rafa Marquez, but he was red carded. Here it goes. The header toward goal, cleared by Bocanegra. What a chance for Ricardo Osorio. It was right off a corner kick. Which is really how USA had scored there. Salcido. Tim Howard is there. No rebounds. Very sure-handed is Tim Howard.
A little bit lucky there, the U.S. In terms of a free player, you don't want to give anybody a free header at this stage. Osorio didn't connect properly. They get a second chance at it. And again, like you said, Tim Howard, very, very good with his hands, understanding of the game, how much he's grown as a goalkeeper has been great. And I said earlier, he is one of the top 5 goalkeepers in the EPL, which is, it's a big thing to say.
Outstanding compliment.
Friedel, Van der Sar, you know, they're all up there.
Zinnia. Blocked there by Donovan. Dempsey's on it. Right side for Haydock. 81st minute. USA leads 1-0 in this World Cup qualifier on rivalry week. A better way to start off World Cup qualifying than have these two nations kicking it off in this first game of that final round. USA is getting ready to make some substitutions.
They can afford to, and some players that are maybe coming off the bench that can open up this game, like a Josie Altidore, a young player who has done well even on his debut. He scores against Mexico, and
Josie's up. Josie's up, ready to come in. Corner kick, meanwhile, for Landon Donovan and the United States. Fifth one. Donovan. A couple guys thought it was to someone else. Nobody went up for that one. Dempsey shielding his man. Haydock chips it. Beasley picks it up. Flag stays down. The cross. And Donovan has to come back for it. Donovan's on it. Over the top. And just missing as he was trying to find Oguchi Onyewu. ESPN's presentation of U.S. soccer is brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. 82nd minute. USA with a 1-goal lead over Mexico. Michael Bradley, the game's only goal. Rafa Marquez, red-carded, 65th minute. And Josie Altidore is going to be coming into the match. He will replace Brian Ching, first sub for the United States.
Making their first team USA substitution. Leading game number 11, Brian Ching. And he'll be replaced by number 9, Josie Altidore.
The hand is for young Josie. He's just 19 years old, loaned out by Villarreal to Jerez, the second division team, but he has not been playing, not for Villarreal, and not yet for his new team. His last game played was in December, so it's good to get him some time here. Your thoughts on the way Brian Ching played today?
Well, I think there was appreciation from the fans for Brian Ching.
Too.
Very solid performance once again. Brian really puts himself about up front, holds the ball quite well, and gives him an outlet for this U.S. side.
He's steady, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
he
not
is.
flashy. Steady.
He doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
You know, at this level, you need to be simple and confident in what you do, and he does a very good job of holding the ball up for this U.S. team.
Martinez down the wing. Hard challenge by Frankie Haydock. 84th minute. Regardless of the score, these two teams always play to the final whistle. Martinez. Augusto. Ochoa. Left there. Pardo. It's deflected. Frankie Haydock. Make sure that ball was settled as he cleared it.
Right now, it's a little creepy feeling because Mexico has got some good confidence in keeping the ball, and that's not good. From the U.S. point of view, they want to be aggressive still to shut things down and not let any doors open at all for Mexico to kind of walk away with a draw here.
Dempsey with it.
Very strong Dempsey on the play. There's the pace of Josie Altidore, young player.
Josie hanging in there. Mexico won it though.
He did a good job to get to the ball, and he got a little too casual with it, shielding it. He should be a little bit more aggressive there, Josie.
Free kick is coming. Pardo to the right. Mexico looking to get that game-tying goal. There's still some time left, 85th minute.
A great switch to the point of attack to exploit the weaker side. U.S. needs a little bit more of that. Instead of 2-3 passes to get across the field, it's one. Get the ball across over to Michael Bradley here. Let him shift it out to Heath Pierce. There it is. That's how you open up a team, especially when they're a man down.
Heath Pierce. He's going to get called for the foul. At the conclusion of tonight's telecast on ESPN2, stay with us. We'll have bonus coverage on ESPN360.com, post-game analysis, highlights, interviews, a full review of this great rivalry by just clicking over to ESPN360.com. Basketball will continue. College basketball on this network. Ricardo Clark in, Sasha Question out.
Number 16, Sasha Question. And he's been replaced by number 13, Ricardo Clark.
Question playing really beside Michael Bradley. And we've seen that combination quite a bit now in terms of qualifying.
Both did well tonight, closing down spaces in the central part of the midfield. The distribution was good.
How about the way they work together?
Sorry?
How about the way they work together?
Yeah, I thought they kind of shared each other. But going back to Howard here early on with Dos Santos, he should really bury that ball. That should be a finish. It's straight at the keeper. There's Medina getting the ball across. And there's the red card for Marquez as he puts the foot up. Referee right there on the spot. A lot of people at home probably saying, was it really a red? It could have been a yellow, but no. You don't lift the boot like that, show studs, and get it into a goalkeeper when you're challenging for a ball. Ricardo Clark, going back to, you know, his play, for me, over a year and a half ago in the Gold Cup, I thought he was man of the match. And he did such a good job of shutting down that midfield, but also making great runs. And a lot of people need to look back in that Gold Cup run. And in the final, he did a very good job of doing that. Plays for the Dynamo.
Beasley to Josie Altidore. Looked like that was intended more for Beasley, but it was between Beasley and Altidore. Comes all the way back. Sanchez. Dempsey. The foul is going to be called. Coming up right after the match, ESPN Deportes will have extended coverage of this match, including special editions of Football Picante and Cronometro, both live from Columbus, and extensive reports and highlights on sports that are all coming up post-match on ESPN Deportes. Hayduk stopped right there. Augusto. Time running out on Mexico's hopes. There'll be some stoppage time added on here, but we're in the 89th minute now. Mexico down by 1. Down a man and down a goal. Marquez being sent off. Pierce. Zinya's pass towards Ochoa. Well read. Michael Bradley again. That time making the defensive play. Pierce for the advantage call. Up for Donovan. He's being shielded, and then he goes down with Salcido right there. Desperation times now for Mexico. In the 89th minute, late stages of it. Ochoa back for Zinya, back to Ochoa. Augusto playing much farther up now. Martinez. But a player that's down. Augusto is there. He thinks there was a dive on the part of Dempsey or some embellishment. 90th minute now. USA, Mexico.
You see Tim Howard right there picks up a yellow card in this game, means that he's out of the next match. As it carries over from the last round, which we just wanted to make sure that was confirmed, but yeah, that's true. So an opportunity possibly for Brad Guzan to step in for that game against El Salvador.
In El Salvador. See how much stoppage time is put on here. Augusto will put it back into play. Pardo. Clock strikes 90. 3 minutes added on. Headed up by Bravo. He may get another go at this. A high boot there from Dempsey. As the ball is cleared upfield, Donovan trying to get that forward. Beasley does the same. Back for Donovan. He's cut off. Augusto. Salcido. Knotted down. When you're down a man like that, Mexico is giving the ball away far too easily to the U.S.
Although the U.S. at times is dropping very deep from the midfield to their back line, and when you do that, that forces their back line even into a deeper situation. So I don't want to go too deep right now and give Mexico any chance to pip this and walk away with the draw in a 1-1 situation.
Nearly a minute gone out of 3 as Augusto got a piece of Landon Donovan. Mexico has the ball at the halfway line. They'll move it on the right. And it's given away again to the U.S. Up towards Altidore using his size and strength. And now a bit of a skill tackle away advantage call. Donovan running against Galindo. Dempsey joins. Landon played it back smartly. Michael Bradley. He tags it. Michael Bradley's got 2.
It all starts from Josie Altidore, who holds the ball up quite well. He gets fouled from Salcido, lays it back to Landon, doesn't have many options. He cuts his back. Michael Bradley making a very good run from deep. And there's the rifle. Of course, Sanchez should have it, but it's just taking that chance. Michael Bradley puts himself in a good spot. A wet field, and he strikes it with power. And the dip underneath Sanchez, yeah. It's a happy Michael Bradley. 2 goals and a great way to start the final phase of this qualification round against the other best team in this CONCACAF region, and maybe not so much anymore. Mexico under a lot of pressure. Michael Bradley, 4th career World Cup qualifying goal.
Late goal in the first half, late goal in the second half. That one puts an exclamation point on this match.
And good for him. He's had a tough time at Mönchengladbach. They made the move from Herenveen, and that doesn't mean that's a tough time for him individually, but the club itself have gone through some changes with coaches, personnel. They're not playing too well.
That's it. USA wins game 1 of this final round of World Cup qualifying, and Michael Bradley was the offensive star.
Well, it seems to be a common thread now, this 2-0 U.S. over Mexico the last 2 games.
Last 3, right?
Yeah, and this is the 3rd one now. So there's Sven and Bob Bradley.
You got to wonder about Sven-Göran Eriksson and how the reaction will be at home. Once again, the USA never loses to Mexico on American soil. And one of their youngest players gets both goals, Michael Bradley.
It was a solid all-around performance from Bradley tonight. I said before Kljestan went off, Kljestan, in the attacking part of the game, Kljestan wasn't himself, I didn't feel. Like his feet tried to do things a little bit too quickly at times, the decision-making. But defensively, they kept a good understanding of being close together and shutting things down. So overall, a good performance by the central midfield group, and Michael Bradley standing out with the 2 goals.
This was a good game, wasn't it? Exciting game between these two.
It was an exciting game. The fast pace, which we expected in the first half, was great. And the U.S. dominated a lot, although they created things for Mexico.
Michael Bradley had both goals tonight. He's downstairs with Pedro Gomez.
Oh, Michael Bradley is the star of the night. Take us through that first goal in the 43rd minute, right before halftime.
It was a great ball from Bees. Landon did a great job to head it back across, and it wasn't very hard for me. Just put it back in the goal.
Psychologically, what do you think that did in this game?
Yeah, I thought in the first half we did a really good job of coming out and getting after him. We didn't really let him breathe. So, to have something to show for ourselves when we came in for halftime, that was big.
All right, excellent. So that's 3 straight times that the U.S. has beaten Mexico on their home soil here, 2-0. Michael, congratulations, you're on to the next round. Guys, back to you.
Our final score tonight, USA has defeated Mexico 2-0. Click over to ESPN360.com for bonus USA Mexico post-match coverage live from Columbus. Up next on ESPN2, we'll send it to Waco, Texas. Men's college basketball, Oklahoma, number 2 in the country, taking on Baylor. But first, we go to the studio.